What is going on, lads? It's Billy the Kid here, and today I'm here to give you my first impressions of the Battlefield 4 reveal that was shown to us publicly yesterday. Now I know what you're thinking straight off the bat. Billy, this isn't Battlefield 4 gameplay, this is Battlefield 3 gameplay. We want to see Battlefield 4. No, I can't show you that, because right now, any channel that puts up the Battlefield 4 gameplay, all 17 minutes of it, are going to get a strike. There are other channels out there you can watch it on, so I'm pretty sure you've already seen it already, and you've already downloaded it and viewed it like 60 times, which is what I've done. But anyway, you can go see it somewhere else. I can't put it up on my channel as I will get a strike, so sadly I can't show you the actual gameplay. So instead of all the exciting Battlefield 4 gameplay footage, instead you're going to be seeing Battlefield 3, Close Quarters, Danya Fortress, and me playing with my good friends Ole, aka Chalk1, Phoenix Wars, and Arnold NYC. We all got in the game and we just decimated this opposite team, and one of them actually got pissy at me. I think his name is Juan MC something, so keep your eye out for Juan as he gets pissy at me and he starts teabagging me, and I just had to go and open a can of whoop ass on him, and by the end of the match he does send me hate mail. So keep your eye open for Juan and count how many times I killed that son of a bitch. Anyway, let's get on with the commentary. Battlefield 4 gameplay reveal. First off the bat, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very action packed, it was very slick, the graphics look amazing. The single player level, which is called Fishing in Baku, I think, don't quote me on that, it's set in Azerbaijan, so it's not China as everybody was hoping for. It's set in Azerbaijan. Excuse me to all my Azerbaijani viewers, all 100 million of them, but that would explain the reason why the Russians are in Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan used to be, there's Juan, hello Juan. Azerbaijan, I can't get distracted by Juan in this silliness of teabagging. River dancing is the new teabagging. Anyway, back to the commentary. Azerbaijan used to be in the Soviet Union. They have very strong ties with the Russian Federation, and for some reason or another, there's an American Special Forces team in Azerbaijan collecting some intelligence. They have collected the intelligence, they got maybe split up and are trying to reach a safe house, and the Russians are hunting them down. Russian spec ops, as one of the soldiers says. Anyway, so that's enough about the single player details. What the soldiers then have to do, they have to go and get exfiltrated, and you know, we see it later on that everything goes pear-shaped and we have to end up cutting one of our friends' legs off like it's American shish kebabs. Anyway, the purpose of the single player was just to show us what the game would look like in terms of graphics, in terms of destruction. I can't even say destruction. It's destruction with the new Frostbite 3 engine. And I have to say, I really did enjoy it. There was a lot of action, there was a lot of set pieces, which is expected out of a single player mission. I wasn't surprised that they didn't show any multiplayer. That's something they're going to keep pretty close to their chest before, you know, the eventual release, which is supposed to be in the fall. Now that raised an instant question with me. If it's being released in the fall, does that mean it's going to come out for current gen consoles and not next gen that we were all hoping for and what we're all expecting for? This is one answer I want answered. This is one answer I want answered. That doesn't make any sense. This is one question I would like to be answered from DICE and EA. Is this coming out for current gen consoles or next gen consoles? Because I can't see it coming out for next gen consoles if it's coming out for fall, unless it's going to be coming out for both, and that's kind of, you know, pulling your resources a new asshole. I need to work on my vocabulary, but I really don't see it, you know, coming out for next gen. Then I really do hope it does. Maybe it'll come out for both. I don't know. You let me know. Maybe the answer is already given and I'm just not seeing it. Anyway, about the single player level, thought it was very good, very action packed as I said, very set piece. The destruction, I can't say it. The destructibility impressed me with the new engine. It looked like there was far more destruction involved with the grenades, with the grenade launcher, with the shotgun, with the, you know, set piece explosions, that one near where the helicopter comes in strafing and this massive explosion happens. I thought that was pretty cool. It looked actually real. I thought it was actually real when I saw it. Yeah, so I like the destructibility, but Like I said, it is a single player mission, and there is set pieces in it. So, you know, I hopefully will see the same amount of destructibility in the multiplayer, not just in the single player. I don't know if it's at the same level as Bad Company 2's destructibility. What do you think? Do you think it is? Do you think it's not? Another point I want to talk about is the less sun glare and the tint. This is a godsend for me, because if there's one thing I hate, absolutely hate with a passion, it's the feckin' sun in Battlefield 3. It's enough to burn your eyes out. I mean, I seriously was thinking about getting these gaming sunglasses, because the sun is so bright. There are loads of maps in Battlefield 3, and unfortunately Battlefield 3 is set in Iran, so it's very, very sunny in the Middle East. But yeah, that's one thing I just loved seeing about Battlefield 4, especially that moment where they're heading towards the building where their extraction chopper is coming in near the port, and you see all the birds above. Now I saw a screenshot of that, and I was instantly like, oh Christ, more sun. It's going to be in my eyes, and I'm not going to be able to see crap. But luckily enough, they looked like they nerfed it very, very heavily. There were moments where there were enemies behind the sun, but you could still clearly see the enemies. So thank God there's no more serious, anyway, sun glint, as far as we know so far. And there doesn't seem to be any blue or orange or yellow or pink tint. Yes, pink tint would be interesting, but there doesn't seem to be any tint at all, and the game looks fantastic. Now hopefully they stick with that and they don't add anything in later on. I'm not, you know, I just pray that is the case, because there were a couple of mods for BF3 PC that removes the tint, and the game looks amazing, and it would just look so much better if they didn't put any tint in at all. So fingers crossed that DICE hold on to that. Don't introduce any bloody tint. Next point I want to talk about, there's a black Irish guy. Unbelievable. This is a completely revelation. Perhaps I should change my avatar now to the black Irish guy. Now obviously the lad isn't Irish. In fact, most of the characters in the single player, one of them is called Irish, another one's called Pat, another one's called Dunn. So I don't know if there's some type of Irish squad, but it was pretty interesting. I got a lot of shit from friends saying, oh Billy, you're in Battlefield 4 and you're black. I'm like, what? How is this possible? I'm not black. Or maybe I am. I always do want to rap now and again and carry a pistol in my pants and walk in my neighborhood saying, hey, how's it going? Wait a second, that's not, what the hell am I talking about? Back on track. No, I'm not black, so stop asking me that question. I know you're all begging to see me, you know, but there is vlogs of me down below to prove that I'm not black. Anyway, back on track. Yes, there is a black Irish guy. That's interesting. Thumbs up for that. There were people saying that they were using the same models from BF3. The Russian soldiers are the exact same. Look, this is not a final version of the game. It's not even a, you know, it's just a demonstration of the engine, more or less, and what the single player could be like. This is not a final product of the game, and it makes sense for them to use the same models of characters. It just makes it easier for designing and developing. But this is not the full version of the game. This is not a final version of the game. So relax to those people. That's why I say to those people, relax. Just chill out. It makes sense when you use your head. Anyway, back on track. The new sound effects. There are some new sound effects for the M16 or M4. I believe it's an M4 he's using. The main character we play in the single player mission. There is some new meteor, nice sounds for the gunfire. It's much more immersive. It's much more not realistic. Well, you know, you can't get too realistic in a video game, but it's much more better than the sounds we get in BF3. So I welcome that. I hope to see more. Another thing I noticed was some of the classes you see, the Russians. I mean, one of them is a recon. You knife him. Yeah, he's carrying an AK. So does this mean that in BF4 all the classes you know, recon, assault, support, engineer. Maybe they'll introduce more classes. Hope for that. Does this mean that all the classes can equip themselves with assault rifles? Because one of the bad things about BF3 was that everybody seemed to be assault, or everybody seemed to be support, everybody seemed to be recon. Depending on the game you're playing, you know, you had to stick with the assault class if you wanted assault rifles, or you had to stick with recons if you wanted sniper rifles. So does this mean for BF4 that all the classes get all the guns, so you can play as a recon but go with an AEK like we saw in the single player? That would be pretty damn cool if we could do that in BF4's multiplayer. And of course the teabagging continues. Anyway, next point is... where is my list? Oh yes, right, okay. One part in the single player has your squad been pinned down by the Russians outside of a building, and then your character gives a hand signal, and all the Russians inside the building are spotted, and your squad lays down suppressing fire as you flank with a shotgun, and you enter the building, you take the Russian soldiers out. Another part later on is where you mark targets for the Huey, or not the Huey, the Venom, keep getting them mixed up, the Venom transport chopper, and it lights up the Russians. So does this mean that there could be a return of Commander mode in BF4's multiplayer? A lot of people are hoping for the return of Commander mode. Some of us were hoping to see it in BF3. Alas, it never came. So for those of you who don't know what Commander mode is, Commander mode was in Battlefield 2. In fact, Battlefield Podcast did a video recapping what Commander mode is for those who haven't actually ever played Battlefield 2. So I'll actually leave a link to their video in the description below for you to go check it out. It really does. They really do a good job describing what it does. But basically, it's what is you are a commander of your team, and you tell people what to do. You tell them, okay, go here, or go there, go cap that, go, you know, arm that MCOM. And there was no rush back in Battlefield 2, but what else you could do was call in computer-controlled artillery. You could launch a UAV so you could spot enemies. You could drop ammo. You could drop health, I think. You could drop jeeps and a light tank, if I remember right, an LAV. So there was a lot you could do with Commander mode. And could this mean it's returned to BF4? I hope so. That would be very interesting. One of the bad things in BF3 I always found is getting the teams to actually PTFO and play the objective. And the Commander mode could be an interesting way to force players to PTFO, to get their ass moving and capture those flags or arm those MCOMs. Another thing I wanted to talk about, excuse me, is the weapons we saw in the single player. Obviously we saw the AAK with the Russians, and we saw the M4 and M249 SAW, and I think the guy whose leg we cut off, he was using some type of maybe M417 sniper rifle type of rifle. If you look back, it's very long. That's why I noticed. But with China being a confirmed, I don't know if it's a confirmed faction, but it's pretty obvious now that they're going to be in the game. This means that we are going to see a lot of Chinese weapons. So we're probably going to see a return of the Type 88 to QBZ95. Is that the... I think it's QBZ95B, the carbine version for the engineers. We'll see the sniper rifle, the QBB... I can't remember any of their names, but you know what I'm about. The QBZ95B, the engineer one, the sniper rifle one. There is a Chinese assault rifle called the QBZ95, and it was featured with the PLA in Battlefield 2. So we're probably going to see a big, surge in Chinese weapons. And obviously you're all going to start saying those made in China jokes, but hey, I love the engineer QBZ, and I love the support class, the QBZ95, and the Type 88. I forgot all about the Type 88. There's actually quite a few Chinese weapons in Battlefield 3. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up. The last thing I just wanted to note was, what do you lads think of the reveal? Were you happy with it? Were you not happy with it? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. Was it what you were expecting? Were you blown away by the graphics? I have to say, the graphics were pretty intense, especially with the close-up of the facial animations. They were, to me, far more better than the ones in BF3. In BF3 the characters just look, you know, dull and not very exciting to see, but when these guys are talking and when these lads are interacting with each other, especially in the car sequence, it's very exciting. So let me know in the comment section below, lads, what your thoughts on the Battlefield 4 reveal are. Were you impressed or were you not impressed? Do you think this is just a Battlefield 3.5 or a Frostbite, you know, what is it, 3, is it? 2? 3.5, you know, whatever. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Leave a rating for this video. And of course, I had to get the hate mail off Juan. He didn't like my spas opening him a new can of whoop ass. Anyway, lads, hope you enjoyed the video as always. This is BillyTheKid. If you haven't subscribed, I welcome you to do so. If you leave a comment, I would greatly appreciate it. Let me know your feedback. And of course, I'll see you again, and thanks again for watching, lads.